Hello, this is my school channel and my name is Abiola. For this video lesson, we'll be solving a JAMB CBT past question for the subject Chemistry the year 2021. Do not go anywhere, stay with us because you'll be right back. It's awesome to have you back on the Myschool YouTube channel. For this video lesson, we'll be solving questions 21 to 40. So join me as I start with question 21. 220 grams of carbon dioxide contains dash moles. That is how many moles are we looking at? So we can calculate this together. So typically we have to find the molar mass of carbon dioxide. That is carbon dioxide, right? So that is CO2. So how many atoms of carbon do we have? We just have one. That is 1 times 12, okay, for carbon. Then we have oxygen. How many atoms? We have 2. That is 2 times 16. Okay, so I have 1 times 12, that is 12, plus 2 times 16, 32. So if I add this together, I have 44. So we can see that. Okay, so I know that this is just 1 mole of carbon dioxide. So 1 mole of carbon dioxide, right, contains 44. You can see this. Okay, so how many mole will be found in 220 grams? We see that, right? So we just cross multiply. Then I have, this comes here, I have 220, right, times 1 equals x times 44. X times 44. Okay, so let me rewrite this properly. Times 44. So what do we do? Divide both sides by 44. Okay, so 44 into 20. I can do it this way. I can separate the 4 first. 40 in 200, that will go 5 times, right? Then the remaining 4 in the remaining 20, that is actually 5. So I know that is 5 times for me. So I know this here 1, this here 5. Okay, so that is x equals 5. So I have 5 moles of carbon dioxide in 220 grams of it. So we can see that x equals 25. If you want to check, you can just try this out. 44 times 5. 5 times 4, that is 20. I leave 2, right? 5 times 4, 20 plus 2, that is 220. So I have 5 moles present in 220 grams. So let me go back to the screen to select 220 grams. That is accounting for 5 moles, right? That is found in option A. So option A is the right option. 22. The inherited traits of an organism are controlled by the DNA molecules. Okay, deoxyribose nucleic acid. This is ribose nucleic acid, protein creation or protein synthesis. Okay, nucleotides. These are the building blocks for RNA and DNA molecules. Enzymes, organic catalysts. So the correct option here is option C for DNA molecules. Question 23. The most abundant rare gas in the atmosphere is what? That's actually argon. All right, the symbol is AR. All right, so when you talk about rare gases or you talk about noble gases, they belong to the group O or group 0 of the periodic table. All right, so we have, if you want to start from the lowest atomic number, okay, you start with your helium, your neon, your argon, your krypton, your xenon, then your radon. All right, so we know that these rare gases, they actually make up about 1% by volume regarding the composition of air, the atmosphere. Okay, so the most abundant rare gas in the atmosphere is argon, okay, with atomic number 18. So the correct option here is option C for argon. 24. The heat required to raise the temperature of the body by 1 Kelvin is called what? Thermal capacity. Okay, either you refer to it as heat or capacity or thermal capacity, because heat is actually a form of thermal capacity, right? Which actually flows due to temperature difference. Okay, so when you are talking about the heat involved, right, to raise the temperature of the entire body, not just a unit mass. If it is unit mass, then you're looking at specific heat capacity, but the entire body now by 1 degree rise in temperature, which is here 1 Kelvin, right? So that is referred to as heat capacity or thermal capacity. So option B is the correct option. 25. The nucleus of a hydrogen atom consists of a what? So basically, when you talk about the nucleus of an atom, okay, that is hydrogen, nitrogen, or what have you. Okay, so you're talking about the basic things you should find there. They are the proton and the neutron. Okay, so we know that hydrogen is the simplest atom, right? And it has just a single proton. Okay, you see that. So just proton, no neutron at all. Of course, we know that inside of the nucleus we have just the proton. Now, outside the nucleus, right, it has just 1 electron. So if we are asked that, okay, hydrogen atom consists of what? It consists of just a single proton and a single electron. But now we are being asked to specify, okay, which is the nucleus. So we are talking about the nucleus of hydrogen atom just contains only 1 proton, no neutron. All right, so option A is the correct option. 26. The metal used to recover copper from a solution of copper sulfate is what? Okay, so you have to consider the electrochemical series. All right, so if you look at the series, you realize that silver and mercury, they are beneath copper. So definitely, you know, they can't displace or they can't help with the recovery of copper. So B and C is gone. So we are looking for something higher than copper in the series, okay, based on that principle. So we have sodium, then we have iron. Okay, so if you look at the reactive nature of sodium with water, okay, this makes it unsafe, okay, for usage. We are looking for something that is a stronger reducing agent, of course, but we must consider the reactivity with water as well. So if you look at the whole setup, the most viable one, okay, although there are so many other reasons why we should go for iron, okay, so at first iron is inexpensive, okay, compared to what we are going to require. And as well, if you look at the reactivity of iron compared iron and water, you realize that it has to be, the water has to be in kind of steam. So there has to be steam for iron to react with it. So looking at the nature of sodium, it is unfit for this kind of recovery. So the best should be iron, okay, based on the options provided. Then you can consider other ones like aluminium, you know, like zinc, okay, but for this provision, the best is iron, okay, although some would have gone for sodium because it is far beyond copper in the electrochemical series. But the safest here, the best here for this situation is iron. So option D is good to go. 27. The nucleus of an atom consists of the protons and the neutrons. Protons are positively charged, neutrons no charge. Okay. When it comes to electrons, negatively charged. Okay, that is why you realize that an atom, okay, is electrically neutral. Okay, the positive, the negative. All right. So, so the nucleus of an atom consists of protons and neutrons. Electrons and neutrons, this option is incorrect. So electrons is found in orbit, right? Neutrons is found in the nucleus. So electrons and protons, this is nucleus, this is orbits or shells. Okay, so none of the above. No, the correct option is protons and neutrons. Option C, so option C is the viable option. Question 28. A solution contains 20 grams of solute in 180 grams of solvent. Okay, so if the solvent is water, okay, so what is the concentration of the solution in terms of mass by mass percentage? I think this makes this solution easier. All right, so we know that solution is actually your solute plus your solvent, right? Solute added to solvent. So solute is actually 20 grams, your solvent is actually 180. So the mass of the solution will be equal to 200 grams, isn't it? So we are asked to use mass by mass percentage. So we know that mass percent, okay, is equals to mass percent is equals to mass of the solute, which is 20, right, over mass of the solution, which is 200, right, times 100 over 1 times 100%. So 0 cancels 0, 0 cancels 0. So I have 2 here 1, 2 here 1. So I'm left with 10. So I have 10%. So let's see if we have 10% in the options provided. Yes. Okay, so option C has 10%, so option C is the right answer. So do not forget to use any of the Myschool tools. All you just need to do is to click on the link in the description below. This is going to get you to the Myschool website. Right there you get to download the Myschool mobile app for your Android devices, or you can check out Myschool software for your laptops, for your computers. So join me as I solve question 29. The only metal that is antibacterial is what? Okay, so based on these options provided, okay, the correct one is copper, because if you consider compounds of copper like copper 2 tetraoxide 6, all right, it has fungicide property, it has it can be used as disinfectant, and in certain mixture you can even use to spray potatoes, okay, just for protection, okay, against diseases very well. So certain studies were carried out and they were trying to examine the properties of metals, okay, or what metals can they consider that has this antibacterial property or function, okay, and such studies, they came up with copper and silver, okay. Others like your cobalt, your nickel, your aluminum was found to be somewhat toxic. All right, so based on the provisions we have here, copper is good to go, okay. Copper is one metal that has antibacterial property or function or effect, so option D is the correct option. Please do not forget to encourage us by hitting the like button. Also click on the subscribe button and always stamp on bell notification for you to get alerts immediately we upload the next videos. Question 30. An element having the atomic number 17 will resemble which of the following elements having atomic number as given below? So when you talk about 17, that is definitely chlorine, okay? Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine. You can see that. Argon, potassium, then calcium. So we see that. So definitely we're talking about chlorine, and that is group 7, halogens. So the halogens, starting from fluorine, we have fluorine, that is atomic number 9. We have chlorine, atomic number 17. We have bromine, atomic number 35. Then iodine, atomic number 53. So fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. You see that? All right. So if you look at this, the elements having the atomic number 17 will resemble this. This is for bromine, atomic number 35. Okay, so the correct option here is option B. Option A is arsenic. All right, so option B is the right option. 31. A chemical process in which there is a gain of electron, is known as what? Okay, that is reduction. All right, reduction is about electron gain. Oxidation is about electron loss. All right, so take note of this. Reducing agents, they are the ones that actually lose electrons, typically metals. Okay, so they are the ones involved in oxidation reaction. Then oxidizing agents, they are the ones that actually gains electrons, and they are involved in the reduction process. Okay, we see that. So sublimation, change of states, probably let me say from solid to gas without passing through the liquid phase. You see that. Okay, distillation is how you can recover a physical process here, how you can recover solvent from a solution. All right, so the correct option is option B for reduction. Question 32. The reactions involving simultaneous oxidation and reduction is actually redox reaction. So if you check the definition of redox reaction, you see that it's actually a fundamental reaction, okay, that has two parts, okay, and those parts are the oxidation and reduction parts, okay. So even though they are quite opposite, but they are complements of one another. So the correct option is option D for redox reaction. 33. A binary compound of oxygen with another element is referred to as an oxide. Okay, we know that oxygen readily combines with other elements, okay, except some like the rare gases, some halogens and some unreactive metals. But basically, when oxygen combines with other elements, what you will get is an oxide. Okay, when it combines with metals, you are talking about basic oxides, okay, like your sodium oxide and the likes. When it combines with some non-metals like sulfur, you have SO2. Okay, you are talking about acidic acidic oxide, or you can refer to them as acid anhydride. You see that now. So a binary compound of oxygen with another element is referred to as an oxide. Elements, okay? Elements like your sulfur, your chlorine, those are elements. They are not oxide. Okay, carbon is an element, nitrogen is an element. So the correct option is option A for oxide. 34. The process or act of extracting a metal from its ore and refining it is called metallurgy. Okay, so metallurgy is actually that chemical process, okay, whereby you extract metals from their ores. The reason is that all metals, except something like silver, platinum, gold, okay, they are found in ores. And this ores we are talking about is actually a mixture of these minerals with solid impurities. So for you to extract them from these ores, right, you refine it, then you process them for industrial use. That is where this concept comes in. So the correct option is option C. 35. The compounds made up of only carbon and hydrogen are called hydrocarbons. Okay, so hydrocarbons, you can group them into aliphatic or aromatic. And natural sources of hydrocarbon, they include coal, that is solid fuel, petroleum, that is liquid fuel, then natural gas, that is your gaseous fuel. So hydrocarbons composes of only carbon and hydrogen. Your hydrocarbons, your alkanes, and the like. So option B is the right option. Question 36. One of the following is not a physical property of monosaccharides. So when you talk about the classifications of carbohydrates, okay, so you talk about monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. So examples of monosaccharides include your glucose, your fructose, other isomers like your galactose and mannose. Okay, so let me take glucose as case study. All right, so we know that monosaccharides, you can't split them into simpler molecules using hydrolysis. All right, so one of the following is not a physical property of monosaccharides. So let's look at the properties of monosaccharides. Like I said, glucose, case study. Okay, so we know that when monosaccharides like glucose, when you dehydrate it using conc H2SO4, what you will get is a char, right? Something like pure carbon. All right, so this is good to go. Option B, monosaccharides are water soluble and they are sweet substance. Yeah, that's very correct. They are water soluble. Glucose is water soluble as well. And you know that the sweetness in wine is actually due to the presence of glucose. Sweet substance. Okay, then we have C. They are highly vital to exploration of metals. I quite disagree. When you talk about exploration of metals, maybe you need reducing agents, maybe like coke. You're talking about carbon or the like, so not monosaccharides. Then we have D. They can be reduced to sugar alcohol. I think what I will rephrase this presentation as is that you can actually ferment your monosaccharides like to alcohols, like for instance conversion of glucose using xanase, right, to your ethanol, your ethyl alcohol. So I think I can go with D. So the wrong option here, the correct option to what we have here, okay, the exception. So one of the following is not a physical property of monosaccharides. Option C, right? They are highly vital to exploration of metals. This is incorrect. So option C is the right option. 37. In troposphere, the two types of pollutants, they are the gaseous and the particulate matter, or the particulate pollutants. Okay, so gaseous pollutants, you can talk about pollutants like oxides of nitrogen, oxides of sulfur, some hydrocarbons, ozone, and the like. So when you talk about particulate matter, you are looking at minute liquid droplets or solid particles that are suspended in the air. Something like, your bacteria, your fungi, your smoke. All right, those are examples of particulate pollutants. So the combo, the gaseous and the particulate pollutants, they are the major pollutants in this sphere. All right, so we know the atmosphere, you can actually break it down into this different sphere or subspheres, okay, to put. So starting from the outside, you talk about the exosphere, you talk about the thermosphere, right? So you also talk about the stratosphere, you talk about the troposphere. That is the closest to us, to the Earth's surface. Right here, all the weather condition, the weather phenomenon, that's where it takes place. Like your cloud, your lightning, your thunder, your rain, it happens here. So the correct option is option A for gaseous and particulate pollutants. Do not forget that your questions should not be left unanswered. All you just need to do is to click on the link in the description below. This is going to get you to the Myschool website. Right there you get to ask your questions, and our solution providers are going to help you out. So join me as I solve question 38. The molar enthalpy change accompanying the removal of an electron from a gas phase atom, right, or ion in its ground state is called your ionization enthalpy. You know, if you recall the concept of first ionization energy, second and the like, so you should be able to know that this is the concept we are talking about. When you talk about electron gain enthalpy, all right, just from the name, you're talking about the energy involved, okay, when there is gain of electrons, so just from the name, all right, you see that. So enthalpy change, you're talking about the heat change, okay, when the chemical reaction takes place, right, either the heat absorbed or evolved, all right, under constant pressure. Some will tell you volume. All right, so then, okay, so basically we've gone through the options we've compared. So I think we are going to find our correct option. Very well, in all assurance. B, ionization enthalpy. So the concept described here is well aligned with ionization enthalpy. So option B is good to go. Perhaps you have explanations or contributions you'd like to make. Please, we are so much attentive. All you just need to do is to please use the comment section below. Kindly indicate the question, number, and the solution you'd like to share. 39. The 14 elements of atomic number 90 to 103 after actinum are actually called the Actinide series, or you can call them the Actinide elements. Okay, but actinides. Okay, so we know that this series actually begin with actinum, okay, atomic number 89. Okay, that's why the next one you can see after, okay, the next one after actinium, right, is now thorium, and it ends with 103, atomic number 103. That is your Laurentium. All right, so we see that. So that series is referred to as the actinoid element, or your actinides, or your actinide series. All right, so the correct option is option A for actiniums. Question 40. The process by which salt and water reacted in a limited way to form an acid or a base is what? Okay, this is actually referring to the concept of salt hydrolysis, you know, or hydrolysis of salts. In this particular concept, you're looking at a reaction between water and salt, okay, salt like maybe your normal salt like your sodium chloride, all right, to either give you an acidic or a basic, or you can see either you say basic or alkaline solution. Okay, so that is a setup of salt hydrolysis. Okay, so if you are going to get an acidic solution from that reaction, okay, what you are looking at is probably this is a reaction that has actually occurred between a strong acid and a weak base. So at the end of the day, when this hydrolysis occurs, what you will get is an acidic solution. So if it's on the flip side, whereby you have a weak acid and a strong base, okay, when this hydrolysis occurs, what you are going to get is a basic or alkaline solution. So you can say that hydrolysis or salt hydrolysis is the reverse of neutralization reaction. The neutralization reaction, you're talking about the reaction between acid and base to give you salt and water only. So you have your neutralization reaction, we have your salt hydrolysis. Do we see that? So this process we've just described here is well associated with hydrolysis. Option C is good to go. We've come to the end of this video lesson, but there are definitely more content to come. All you just need to do is to always hit that like button, also click on the subscribe button, and always tap on bell notification for you to get alerts immediately we upload the next video lesson just for you.